For a more in-depth look into the president's statements, we're joined by phone with Dr. Cherif Amir, political analyst. Dr. Amir, can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you very well. Hello.
Yes. Good evening, Dr. Cherif. The president's statements were extremely reassuring, and he was adopting his usual positive note. What did you read in his statement today? Because he was really pacifying the people and at the same time sort of issuing a subtle warning of the need to heed the safety precautions, so to speak. What did you read?
Well, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was very honest in his statement today with the Egyptian people. He said it clearly that we have to take all the precautions. It's not over yet, but thanks to all the measures that Egypt has taken from the beginning of the crisis of the Covid19 coronavirus, Egypt was able to minimize the fatalities and the dimension of this problem. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi gave the Egyptian people several messages. One of them is that we have to be reassured that our government is working according to the international standards in fighting the COVID-19 even better. And this is what the World Health Organization stated, that Egypt is working around the clock to protect its citizens, and every effort is not spared, because this is a matter of the life or death. The third message, which was very important also to the Egyptians, it was about the commodities, that Egypt is prepared, very well prepared in the food supplements, in every aspect, that we have the possibility to face any challenges. And the fourth and the most important of all is the wages. The wages of the public sector and the private sector. It's a red line. And when President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi says about something that it's red line, he means it. That the Egyptians should not be worried if there will be some layoffs or there will be some problems. It's happening all over the globe. Look, in the United States, very huge companies are suffering now, like Macy's, for example. So, of course, we will be all affected. But the way that we should deal with this should be very careful in order not to harm the wages of the middle class.
The president also sort of referred to a responsibility by the citizens themselves. What is he expecting on the citizens' part, in your point of view?
The awareness. And I think that President Sisi gave an example. He said when he was supervising the street in a secret way, and he discovered, for example, in the public transportation, many people, or many Egyptians, did not wear the mask, and they did not take the distance, social distance, as they call it in the West. So I think that this is a clear message that the fact that we are doing well, or we're controlling the situation, that does not mean that we forget the precautions. And I think that the president was very clear about that. Take your precautions, because this is not avoidable. And there is a second message also. It's about the rumors. This is what the Egyptians should know, that social media is full of rumors. These rumors are really harming not only the country, but it's harming our economy. It harms the loyalty, or let's say the trust between the government and the people. So we should listen also to what the government is saying, what the Egyptian media is saying, because it knows better than us, better than all the Egyptians, the info. And as President Sisi said, why I would not tell you the truth? I have nothing to hide. We are facing a global situation all over the planet. So I think that he was clear about these 2 points.
What about the role of the army? It seems that the army is on every battleground. I mean, it's out there fighting terrorism. and it is also standing behind people in preparing or handling logistics even to confront this virus. How do you see the role of the army in that?
I didn't hear you well.
The role of the army. I mean, the president entrusted the army, he gave instructions today to start doing the face masks and to disseminate them for free. I mean, it seems the army is battling on all fronts here, out there on the borders to fight terrorism and inside to help in the fight against COVID-19. How do you read it?
Well, look, if we go back a few weeks ago, we found that the first institution in Egypt was prepared to face the COVID-19 was the army.
Yes.
And they were the first to have fatalities. We do not forget we have 2 generals who lost their lives battling COVID-19 by themselves, and they lost their lives, and it was the most dangerous aspect at that time. So the army in Egypt, the military institution is taking all the appropriate steps to protect the Egyptians, and protecting the Egyptians on the front line in Sinai or fighting terrorism and protecting the health of the Egyptians. This is a matter of national security. We have seen all the armies around the world now are being deployed in Italy, in France, even the United States, they're trying to take part in it, and in China and Russia. So it's obvious that this is a national crisis everywhere, and it depends now on the preparedness of every army. So the Egyptian army was excellent in the performance. They were deployed in the streets of Cairo and all the governorates in a matter of hours, cleaning and taking all the steps to stop the spread of this virus. They have the appropriate equipment. We have seen amazing equipment in their hands. The vehicles. We have seen the president today managing by himself the preparedness of these forces. We were all proud. This is a sign to the Egyptians. Be assured that you are in good hands, that your army is very prepared, and even when the lack of masks and the supplements of disinfection, all these things were prepared also by our army to replace it. So I think that we have a strong army, not only in wars, but in protecting the health of the Egyptian people. We are very proud, but let's not forget precautions. This is the role of the citizen. We have to help the army, we have to help the government, and this is what President Sisi said. We have to take the precautions to work together to fight this problem.
Dr. Cherif Amir, thank you very much for your fruitful input. On another front, the Egyptian president wished the UK's Prime Minister Boris Johnson a speedy recovery. In his social media account, Sisi said Egypt appreciates efforts by the United Kingdom under the leadership of Johnson to contain the spread of the virus. He said all countries are standing as one in the pandemic, which he said has united humanity around the globe. The British Prime Minister was admitted to intensive care as Johnson receives oxygen to support him in the fight against COVID-19. His foreign minister leads the government's response to the outbreak. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli headed a meeting on Tuesday of the Higher Committee managing the coronavirus crisis. The committee included ministers of defense, supplies and domestic trade, education, higher education, finance, local development, health and population, as well as the State Minister for Information and the Presidential Advisor for Health Affairs.